Martin College is committed to supporting you to gain study skills at the level required to help you produce the results you would like. To achieve this, welcome to Study Skills Series, How to Write a Report, Stage 2. Many of your assessment items will ask you to write a report. Stage 1 has already guided you through the planning and researching process. This stage will guide you through the steps to write and complete your report. This stage of your 2 tutorials on how to write a report will show you the steps to start the report writing process. So, what is a report? How do I format a report? This stage will explain what a report is, the different types of reports, and how to format and structure a formal report. So you would like to learn or improve your report writing skills. Okay, so let's think first of all about what is a report. In your recommended textbook, the Business Communication Handbook by Judith Dwyer, it is stated that a report, whether long or short, presents comprehensive information on a specific subject. Its main function is to inform. Sometimes it offers expert opinion or advice to managers to help them check on progress, plan for the future, and make decisions. A report can be informal or formal, 3 pages or 3,000 pages in length. It can be written by an individual or by a group of people. It is usually requested information to be delivered within a given time frame. There are different types of reports, including short reports, long reports, letter reports, memo reports, and even including case studies. The format and structure will depend on the amount of information required, the context of that information, and the reader or readers. However, in all reports, the information must be factual and accurate. This slide tracks the process of a report to its successful completion. Here you can see some of the different types of reports and reasons for reports. So your report length, the format and the structure will be given to you in your assessment instructions and from discussion with your facilitator if further clarification is needed. So you will need to know the format required, is there a word length, and how formal the report needs to be. A short report can have different purposes and suit different situations. These reports are usually informal in its style. The format will be simple, always with headings, but not always with a numbering system. Usually included will be a purpose statement as the introduction. A short report can include a conclusion and recommendations, but these are not always required. In the business world, you will be required to create informal reports using either the memo or the letter style. However, for your college assessments, the usual format will be the more formal or academic style. If you are required to produce a case study, the format will then be informal. A long report will be in a formal structure, following standard guidelines. The planning and research will take more time and require more evidence for a decision to be accurately made. As stated in stage 1 of this series, the planning stage of a long report is time-consuming. The planning and research, however, is the most important part of your task. This ensures you obtain complete and relevant information for the writing of your report. Good planning allows you to write and edit more easily and efficiently. In order for your reader to quickly and easily understand your writing, use everyday words. Do not go out of your way to find long, complicated words, as this will only confuse your reader. On the other hand, use English that is professional. Another tip is do not use long sentences and wordy paragraphs. These examples show you the preferred language and word choice to use in report writing. Remember to use the impersonal approach and avoid any discriminatory or sexist language. Always write concisely to avoid wordiness, which will also confuse the reader. This structure shown is standard for a formal long report. However, do check with your facilitator as to how formal your report should be and what parts are required. For instance, sometimes a recommendation is not required. In the workplace, a covering page, either a letter or a memo of transmittal, will always be included. However, for college purposes, usually this is not required. The following slides will guide you through each part of the report format and explain the content required. This page is your title page. Make sure the title of the report clearly indicates the purpose and the nature of the report. The following slide shows an example of a title page. Note that the information is nicely centered, both vertically and horizontally, with a page border. The border draws the eyes inwards to the information to be noted. The executive summary is an important part of any report. It is essentially written for busy executives who may not have the time to read all the pages. It is called a stand-alone page, which will give all the essential parts of the report. The reader may decide after reading this to access certain areas and will then use the table of contents to do so. It is the last page you write, as you need the completed report to be able to access those key points for the executive summary. However, it will be the first page read by the reader. The following slide will give you a process to follow in order to write an executive summary that is effective. A lot of students consider this probably the hardest part of any report to write. The executive summary is written in an essay style. Apart from the main heading, Executive Summary, there are no headings or referencing needed. The format is in complete sentences and short paragraphs and is usually in single-line spacing. Begin a new paragraph for each new topic or idea. If you work from your notes, as indicated above, you will ensure that all the relevant information has been included. It is an essential part of a long report and may be the only part of a report that would be read by that busy executive. Remember, the executive summary is an overview of the whole report and will be the first page of the report to be read. Read this slide and follow the next slide to create an automatic table of contents. If you need further help to use the automatic table of contents, click onto the Help button and Microsoft Word will give you the directions. The first step is to highlight a heading or subheading in your report and click on the appropriate heading style. Microsoft Word will automatically use your styles to create your table of contents with the headings and the page number already there. Follow these instructions and you will be able to save yourself a lot of valuable time and ensure a credible table of contents. The introduction includes 4 main parts. The authorization is the person or persons who requested or commissioned the report and to whom the report will be submitted. There will always be a reason for the report being requested, and this is the background information. Always include a purpose statement. This can commence with the purpose, the aim, the objective of this report is. The scope refers to the aims and limits or extent of the report as shown in the example. Limitations refers to hindrances that may affect the outcomes of the report. For example, a budget, a time limit, or information unable to be accessed. Finally, all methods of collecting information and all sources must be mentioned in order to prove to the reader the information is authentic. This slide shows an example of an introduction format. Note the numbering system and headings. The main heading is Introduction, with the following 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3 being the subheadings. This part of your report can be called the central section, but is sometimes called the body of the report or your discussion notes. It includes all the findings from your research, so make sure all requirements have been met. Check your headings from your action plan and requested information to ensure nothing has been omitted. The main point of a conclusion is to finish the document and evaluate its content. A summary of the key points comes first to remind the reader, and then is followed by the evaluation. In other words, what result do the findings show? Although all reports, both formal and informal, will always have a conclusion, on occasion a recommendation may not be necessary. Check with your facilitator. Please refer to the referencing tutorial in the Study Smart series for examples of the APA method of referencing, which is the preferred style. This completes the sections of a standard report. You have by now finished writing your first draft. The next step is to proofread and edit to create your final document. As previously mentioned, this is an important step and should not be overlooked or rushed. In this tutorial, you have been shown a standard format for a report. However, you will find there can be differences in organizational guidelines. For example, different margins, line spacing, font size and style. The wording and numbering to be used in headers and footers will also vary. For example, is a date required or the title of the report? Do you need the name of the writer? And will it be in the header or in the footer? The use of various graphics will suit the different types of information. For example, the use of a table will allow comparisons between large amounts of data. A pie chart shows proportions of a whole unit and the relationship between those parts. Make sure you do not include too much information in a graphic, as it becomes difficult to read and can be confusing. Don't place a graphic in the middle of a page and assume the reader will understand why it's there. Note the example where the graph has a title and each part of the pie has been explained. The use of colour adds interest, which enables the information to be easily remembered. Make sure in a pie chart that all the parts or percentages add up to the 100%. Once you have completed your report, keep a master copy, both a hard copy and electronic. Date it and label it and keep it in a secure place. Follow organizational procedures for distribution and closure. In your case, you need to upload your assignment to StudySmart under the relevant unit and assessment by the due date. Congratulations on completing your report. There is another important aspect of report writing that you will need to know. As you can see, there is another tutorial, and this will guide you through how and when to reference using the APA method of referencing.